Have you ever just stopped and wondered what really makes people tick? Well, today we're going to dive deep into Robert Greene's incredible book, The Laws of Human Nature, to pull back the curtain on the hidden forces that are pretty much running the show for all of us. I mean, think about it. It's a question we all bump into, right? Why do we procrastinate on that big project or pick a fight over something totally pointless or just repeat the same exact mistakes? Turns out the answer isn't somewhere out there. It's inside, and it all starts with this massive battle happening in our own heads.
So, to understand anyone, yourself included, you first have to get this one crucial thing. We all like to think we're these super irrational beings, but the truth? It is way more complicated. Our brains are basically in a constant state of civil war.
Okay, so picture this. You've got two competing systems trying to run the show. And yeah, we love to think our rational, logical brain is the one in the driver's seat, but here's the reality check. Our emotional brain is way faster, way more powerful, and it almost always hijacks the system before our logical mind even has a chance to boot up. And this whole conflict, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It's literally hardwired into our evolution. At the very bottom, you've got the ancient reptilian brain, just focused on survival, fight or flight. Then, layered on top is the limbic system, our emotional center. And finally, the new kid on the block, the neocortex, which handles all that rational, logical thought. The problem is that emotional system reacts in milliseconds, while the logical one, well, it takes its sweet time. So what's the fallout from all this internal wiring? Well, it creates these sneaky things called cognitive biases that quietly warp how we see everything. When our emotions grab the steering wheel, we fall right into traps like confirmation bias, where we only look for evidence that makes us feel good and right, or group bias, where we just stop thinking for ourselves and find it easier to go along with the crowd. But here's the good news. You are not helpless in this fight. You can totally reclaim some control by giving your rational mind a fighting chance to catch up. And the key is this super simple 3-step practice. First, just recognize the emotion you're feeling. Second, take a second to trace it back. Where is it really coming from? And third, the most important one, just pause before you act. That pause is everything. Okay, so that's the internal battle, but of course, it doesn't just stay inside our heads, right? It spills out and directly shapes how we show up in the world. As social animals, we're playing by a whole different set of rules just to get by. Now hold on, narcissism gets a bad rap, but here's the thing. We all have narcissistic tendencies. It's just part of the human package. The real question is, where do you fall on the spectrum? Are you leaning toward being a deep narcissist, totally absorbed in yourself and needing constant praise to cover up some deep insecurity? Or are you a healthy narcissist who can balance self-care with genuine empathy for other people? The whole point is to nudge yourself toward that healthier side. And you can actively build that empathy muscle. It really starts with self-awareness, just noticing your own tendencies. Then you have to consciously flip your attention outward. Listen more than you talk. Ask people how they're really feeling and actually hear the answer. And hey, maybe, just maybe, take a little break from the endless self-focus of social media and go practice some real face-to-face connection. Now, this constant search for validation, for people to see us in a certain way, it leads to something we all do. We all wear masks. And look, this isn't about being fake. Think of it more like a survival kit for navigating a super complex social world, where we put forward a version of ourselves to fit in and get by. And believe it or not, these masks are actually super useful. They help us switch gears between being a professional at work and a parent at home. They protect our soft spots when we're feeling vulnerable. They even help us influence people and just conform enough not to make waves. The real skill is learning to see the person behind the mask, both in others and, maybe more importantly, in yourself. Okay, so we've talked about the masks we show the world. But what about the stuff we hide, even from ourselves? The parts we just deny are even there. This brings us to the law of self-sabotage and this fascinating idea of the shadow self. So often, we get stuck in these loops, right? Sabotaging our own success over and over again. And it's usually driven by one of these core negative attitudes, whether it's a hostile view that everyone's out to get you, or anxious micromanaging, or avoiding any real challenge. These mindsets literally create our reality and keep us stuck. And where do these attitudes come from? Well, they usually bubble up from what Greene calls our shadow side. This is basically the junk drawer of our personality.
It's where we shove all the impulses and traits like our aggression, our insecurity, our selfishness that don't fit the shiny, perfect image we have of ourselves. But just hiding them away doesn't make them disappear. In fact, it just gives them more power. So, to keep all that shadow stuff hidden, what do? We build these big, exaggerated personas. You know the type. The tough guy who's all bravado, he's probably hiding some deep vulnerability. The saint who seems absolutely perfect, they might be hiding a serious desire for power. Once you learn to spot these personas, you can start to see what's really going on underneath. So here's the big reveal. The goal isn't to destroy your shadow. You can't. The goal is to integrate it. By actually looking at those darker parts of yourself, understanding where they come from, you can channel that raw energy into something useful. That aggression, it can become drive and assertiveness. That deep-seated fear, it can become a tool for careful, smart planning. By becoming a better observer of the battle in your mind, the masks we all wear, and the shadows we try to hide, you gain this powerful new lens to see the world. You can navigate social situations better, get past your own self-sabotage, and just understand people with a whole new level of clarity. The only question is, what will you do with it?